How do I overcome loneliness? I get this question all the time, so I figured I'd make a video on it and hopefully it'll help. What's up, team? Welcome back to Geek Psychology. I'm Sherman. You might know that already. So as I said, I get this question quite often, usually from introverts. Like, I'm lonely, I don't have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and I don't know what to do about it, and I'm miserable and I'm depressed, and help me. Like, what can I do? And it's a very real thing because I went through it too. I mean, I struggled for a very long time with just people in general. Didn't know how to talk to people. I was always the awkward kid, and it was very frustrating. But what I did is something that I think a lot of people are not fully willing to do, and they gotta do it. You just gotta do it. And so what that is for introverts, there's this fear of extraversion. I mean, it's our inferior function. It's that maverick, wild character. It's also the mentor character, the auxiliary function, the one that's telling us what we need to do, but we don't really want to listen to it. It's the other orientation. If we're introverts, then the outer world is kind of the scary place, and also the place that we don't want to put a lot of time and attention into. And I mean, we would rather be inside. We would rather be doing the stuff within our hearts and our feelings and our experiences and recalling, reviewing, and going through them. And so the problem is we push that outside out, just farther away, and we stay within us. It doesn't help. I mean, you can't overcome loneliness or get into a relationship if you're not in a place that you can interact with the outer world. Right? I mean, harsh truths, but if you're not going out, then how are you going to meet people? And so to understand this a little bit more, I mean, we need to think about, like, introversion needs to sacrifice some of it. Us introverts need to sacrifice a little bit of our identity to merge with the outer world, to put yourself into extroverted contexts, to go to the bar, to go to the club, to be vulnerable. And if you're not doing that, then you're not going to be able to get into a position that you can connect with people, right? And so, like, another question here, and I know this is not related to cognitive functions, but would you date yourself? I mean, that's something I thought about constantly. Like, would I, if I were a member of the opposite party, would I date myself at the level that I was at? And for a long time, no. I mean, I wouldn't personally want to be around someone who is miserable all the time and unmotivated and just plays games all day. I mean, I did that. Unhealthy and dirty house, and I had like 8 toilet paper core rolls in my bathroom at one point, and my boss kind of mentor came and he was like, yo man, you gotta get rid of this stuff. Like, this is not how you work with people. This is not how you create a relationship. Girls don't like that stuff, you know? And I was like, really? Huh, never thought about that, because I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to take care of it. So a couple things that you can do. Okay, it's important to give the tips and the tricks and techniques. A couple things that you can do is to just take steps to improve. Like, what are your struggles? What are your weaknesses? What are the areas within your life that are not going in the way that they should be, or the way that would get them working together so that you could be in a relationship or get with somebody or stop being so lonely or whatever your intention is. Study about those. You know, study seduction. I studied it for a long time because I didn't understand how to talk to people. And I wanted to make sure that when the time came that I had to slay the epic dragon and you know, really, I found somebody that I really liked and I wanted to connect with, that I would be able to do it, that I would kind of have the skill set to do it. So study about it, and then you got to do it. You have to do stuff with the studying, which is like the pain point for us introverts, right? Like that inner world, studying, you know, going over the ideas, imagination, and playing with the experiences, that's great. I could do that all day. But actually doing stuff, getting out there is the hard part, right? But you got to do it. I mean, you can't build a house by looking at the blueprints or even drawing the blueprints. It's not going to actually create the house. You got to do stuff. Within that, learning openers, learning little lines that you can say when the conversation gets awkward or there's somebody you want to talk to, like, you know, that classic line, I suppose, about like, I need a woman's opinion on something because I'm going to buy a present for my sister, and I don't know which is better. Is it good to give like a stuffed animal, or is it better to give like something more practical or useful? And just start conversations, because doing that is going to help you actually get used to it and expand the comfort zone, so that you're like, oh, I've experienced that before. I don't need to completely reconcile this whole identity and understanding the inner world and, you know, what makes sense of the whole thing, because I've experienced it. Hopefully many times. That's how you expand your comfort zone, clear that fog of war, and you're more comfortable, you know. And just work on yourself. Like constantly make it an intention to improve just a little bit, 1% better every day. And even if you don't do it, you know, it was an effort. You still got tomorrow. You can still try to improve, you know, and make sure you do it within like a couple key aspects, like your mindset, your positivity. Make sure that you're more upbeat. You're not all depressed all the time. You're not Daria. And looking at the positive side of the world, and fake it till you make it, if that's how it's going to happen. Like, you just need to get into that better state. Also, your health, which is difficult for me to say because I have a lot of health problems, but like my cleanliness was something that I had to work on. I didn't feel like brushing my teeth. I didn't feel like taking a shower. Well, it's something you got to do, you know, and make it a routine. I know this is really strange. Like, a lot of people are probably like, what? Why would that even be a thing to consider? But it might be. It might be. And just constantly work on improving just a little bit in several different areas, and making yourself somebody that you would want to be around, somebody that you would want to be with. And expanding that comfort zone, getting more comfortable with new experiences, new feedback, because it's not actually going to change your identity, right? Like, it's somebody's feedback is just their feedback. There's no essential meaning attached to it. You attach a meaning to it. That person could have just had a bad day. They might have lost somebody in their family. They might just have been a little bit upset. Whatever it is, doesn't really mean that you are a bad person if they were upset with you, or if they ignored you, or whatever it is, or if they called you a narcissist out of nowhere, right? That lady, that hypothetical lady, I didn't know her, or my friend didn't know her. And, you know, she had her opinions, and that's fine. It doesn't mean that I am that. Doesn't mean that my identity is any different. It's just some feedback that you can go over, and you can identify and understand a little bit better, and then use that to shape how you approach the world. It might not be the fastest thing, but going through it, going through the steps is the most important thing. Putting yourself out into a place that you're going to get more interaction. All right, so that is my 10-minute run through on how to overcome loneliness, a little bit just based on some experiences that I've had. All right, hope it helped. Please comment down below, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and see you in the next video. Bye. Peace.